Hey, it's Melita the therapist here with another segment of Spilling the Tea in Therapy. Speaking of tea, I have mine right here, a nice fresh cup. Maybe sipping on a little bit more during this segment, but I'm so glad you're here watching this today. As promised earlier in the week, I said I would talk about one of the topics that I get quite a bit. There are people who email me and say, hey, Melita the therapist, I've tried therapy and it just did not work for me. And when I hear that, I automatically hear I didn't work the process of therapy. And so I'm here to help you, sis. I want to help you be successful when you reach out for help. There's nothing like reaching out for help and felt as though you didn't receive what you needed. Also, remember, sometimes what you need is not what you want as well when it comes to therapy. Sometimes we want it to come on that silver platter, and it may not come that way, but it is good for you. So today I'm going to give you 4 possible reasons why therapy just didn't work. And then I want you to revisit, see if that's you, and fix it so you can carry on with your, mental wellness. So the first thing I want to share with you today is you want change without changing. Yeah, I said it right. You want everything to change. I want X, Y, and Z, and I want this type of person, and I want this to happen. But when it comes to you getting out of your comfort zone, no way, Jose. And that's part of the problem, is that you want everything to change around you without you having to change anything. And sis, when we think about it, that's not gonna happen. So let's not fool ourselves. We have to understand that entering a space of mental wellness, expect change. It's not easy and it's gonna take time, but be willing to do the work to make the changes. So one of the main reasons why therapy doesn't work is because you come with the wrong mindset. You come thinking that there's going to be a magic answer that changes everything in your life without us hitting on those little nerve topics, you know what I'm talking about? The ones that you tell everybody to back up. I ain't talking about that. I'm not doing that this week. Not today. These type of things. Probably why that we're still the same and why things did not work out during your mental wellness journey. So check yourself. Make sure that's not you, okay? Our second thing that often happens when we say it just simply doesn't work is because we're not being truthful with our therapist. That's right. We tell our side only. We tell the perspective that makes us look innocent, makes us look good, makes us look like the victim, because that's very easy to do. We have to be careful because that therapist is going to challenge your perspective because we know that there's another side. As they say, there's your side, their side, and this truth is somewhere in the middle, and we get you to that middle, which means you're going to have to let go of your perspective in the process and be okay with that. Yes, you may have been hurt, but what steps, what things did we do or not do to get us in the seat of hurt with that situation? So we have to be willing to look at the other side. So that's another reason why therapy doesn't work. They just want me to do this, and I don't see how I can do that. They want me to forgive. Yeah, we want you to, and you should want to as well. So come with the truth. Truth may not be pretty. The truth may be very ugly. It may be very dark, and I understand that. It's better for you to say, it's hard for me to really express, the truth of the matter. That is better than simply outright lying to your therapist. Like, I don't understand why they got mad at me. Now, come on now. Most of the time, we know why. We just don't want to accept that about ourselves. Remember, therapy is about self-reflection. And so you're checking self. You're checking your motives, your habits, your ways. Okay? So be truthful out the bat. You cannot build a successful future on the back of lies. That's not going to happen. The one person you should not be in denial with is you. I said it. Can't be in denial about self. That's one person you cannot be dishonest with. When you're being dishonest about your own self perspective of things, then we got a serious problem to work through. And that's okay. That's what you're here for. That's what you're there for, is to work through those processes that you have about certain situations or people, etc. So I want to make sure that you don't fall in these two categories thus far, is wanting change without change and not being truthful in therapy. And then the truth comes out later, and then it kind of forces you to want to backtrack some of these processes you work through because they were built on lies. And then you're ready to throw up your hands and say, forget it. Okay, who took us down this road, sis? Who caused the U-turn? I'll take a sip while you think on that. But who caused the U-turn in the process? Think about that, okay? The third thing is you're waiting on someone else to change first. Now, I will say, as a therapist, when I see couples, this happens a lot. I'm waiting for my significant other, my husband, my spouse, to do fill in the blank. And if they didn't just do, I wouldn't do. What that's saying is you're allowing someone else control your change, and you control it. There's no one else. Even if someone else is being mean, you can change your perspective and approach about it. Even if someone did you wrong, you can change how you're going to respond. The change relies on you. When you go in therapy, think that this is a process for me. Even if I come in with someone, I'm here to get what I need to make me better so that the relationship gets better. And if you both do that, guess what? Yeah, you might have a winner sitting next to you. A winning relationship, a winning friendship, whatever it is, it can go through this process of mental wellness in therapy successfully because you're committed to you. You have to understand that this relationship takes two or more people. And that means that if one person makes a ripple or makes that change, it can change the whole system. But the waiting, like double dutch, I'm waiting to jump in, I'm waiting, then you end up stuck. And then you get upset with the other person because you haven't seen change. Have they seen change in you? Have they seen change in your approach, your conversation, the way you look, the way you act, the way you talk, the way you resolve conflict? Have they seen that in you? And so when you enter therapy, you have to understand it doesn't work because you have the wrong focus. You have the wrong looking glass. So sis, I'm telling you to clear it up and understand that it's you that needs this process. And even though you're with someone else, they need it for themselves as well. All right? So that's my third one. Now, my fourth and final one, which these are in no particular order at all, is you're not applying what you've learned in therapy immediately. I always compare it to a good sermon. If you're a person that goes to church, you know, amen, that's it. Oh, that was good. And then when it's over, you get up and you start life. Have you implemented, or just was it good for your soul? You know, it just felt good. Was it good enough to apply though? And that happens in therapy quite a bit. It sounds good. It falls good on the ear. Like, ooh, yeah. And then as soon as we leave, we don't make that plan or follow the plan you're given to implement. That's one of the reasons why it doesn't work. You want to modify. You modify before you even implement. You downplay it before you even put it into practice. Well, I understand what he or she was saying, but right there, right there. You just have to learn to follow exactly the way it is, even if it's uncomfortable. What you have to realize, being uncomfortable isn't bad. It's just different. And sometimes, a lot of times when you're making changes, it's uncomfortable. And you got to say, ooh, I must be really doing a great work because I don't feel real comfortable about this. Doesn't mean it's bad. Quit connecting uncomfortable to bad, because then you'll never change, because change is uncomfortable. You're developing new comforts, so it's okay. Apply it as it's given. If your way worked, why are you here? Think on that. Why are you here? If you had the plan, you wouldn't be there. So when you're given one, follow it. These are 4 major reasons why people say it doesn't work for me. Overall, these steps mean you have to trust the process of therapy. It is a process. Even when you run across therapists who use more solution-focused based therapy, that doesn't mean it's done in 2 weeks. That means it could be done in 8, 12, 16, 24 weeks. And that's still pretty quick compared to, how long you may have been in the situation. So it's relative. But I want you to think about these 4 steps. Think about, is it me? And if so, vow to make a difference. And don't give up on therapy. Don't give up on sound advice to help your life be better, to help your life grow in the right direction, get all the weeds out of your life, because it does work, but you have to work it. It is a process. Go in with the right perspective. Go in knowing that this is for me and no one else. And go in understanding this is my vulnerable place. So I have to be honest. Believe, we have heard a lot of things. And because of that, your situation is not unusual like you think it is. It may feel that way because you have held on to it for so long, but trust me, sis, it's not. And your therapist is there to help you. So trust the process. Be committed to being truthful, being okay with change and being uncomfortable, right? Implement right away as it's stated. Don't alter it. Don't change it. Give it your all. When you try something, sometimes it doesn't work the first time. Why? Because the process is trying you. It's testing you to see if you're going to even continue. Are you giving up so quickly? You are not a failure. Don't give up. I don't care if it didn't work the first 3 times. 3 times the charm, huh? So don't give up on the process, all right? Please like and subscribe to this channel. I hope you enjoyed this segment. I hope that it gave you life to your situation. Please email me at melittathetherapist@gmail.com. Let me know how you liked it. And if you applied these steps, let me know. I would love to hear it. I would love for my audience to hear it. So please keep in touch, sis. All right? You take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.